Happy Friday, everybody. It is another Friday. We made it through another week like we knew we would because we're resilient and we're adaptable and because we're just hardy, right? Hardy folks. Um, I hope everybody is having a good, well, like I was saying, how everyone had a good week. Um, Mine was kind of up and down. And so I see I have one on. That's Selena. So Selena was here first to say hello. So hello, Selena, my dear. And of course, a very blessed early Mabon as well to you. And yes, I ordered the Seasons of the Witch Mabon deck today. I thought for sure one of the stores in the area would be carrying it, but alas, they didn't. So as much as I dislike Amazon sometimes, at least, I know what I can find and when I can get it. So, but yes, so for people watching on playback, thank you very much. I'm weaning it tonight, so instead of the Friday night sidekicks, it's the Friday night hangout with me. Mwah. So, this week, wow, as some of you know, I found out a few nights ago. I think it was Tuesday night I found out. Hi, Irene. Hi, Nalani. Thanks for popping in. I had mentioned to folks, and hello, Kat. Good to see you. New name in chat that I lost an artist friend back in Niagara Falls in New York. Um, Unexpectedly, he was not ill. He had just started some new paintings, and I had commented on them, saying they looked great. He's been doing very well. And my friend let me know that he passed unexpectedly. And at first, I couldn't find out what happened. And immediately, I just got the sense of heart attack. And when I spoke to another friend, it was kind of third party. Says I think they said embolism, and for some reason, I kept thinking no, it was a heart attack. And yesterday was his wake, and my friend who went to it told me that it was a heart attack, and out of the blue. So you never know. And so for people who have reached out and on Facebook and given me their condolences, and I appreciate that. It's been a kind of a rough week up and down, but I got my beautiful um, crocheting hooks in, and I did get some furniture polish. Someone recommended wax paper. Oh, and Janet Lee, hello. I'm going to pick your brain about something, but I have chat popping in, so this is wonderful. So Kat says they're new, so welcome. I always love to see new folks. And we have Carolina. Hello, my dear Aquarius Tarot Adventures. And who else did we have? Thank you, Nalani. I got like, I think it was the week before we left to hit the road. I stopped by his studio to see if he was there, and he was. And he stopped all he was doing, welcomed me in, and we talked about his art. We talked about mine, and he yeah, he said I had come a long way too, and he was sure that I was going to make some amazing art out here. And at least I got to say goodbye, and I have that good memory of saying goodbye to him. But Janet, I have a question for you. So, Janet, I bought a set of wooden crochet hooks, and I went to my crochet group last night because I figured somebody working there, or one of the ladies would know, but not really. None of them there worked with wood crochets. And the one girl who did show up with a small, simple, basic one, it was like a mass market one, not something specialty like this. They didn't know really what to do. And one lady, Nadine, recommended I use wax paper, and so I got wax paper today. I waxed on and waxed off, but no, I went ahead, and it didn't help. And so I told Shan, let's for the hell of it, grab a little bit of the Pledge furniture polish. We have the one that's got the argan oil in it, and he rubbed them down for me, and they work better. Not how I would like, but seeing that you are an amazing crocheter, Janet, I was wondering if you might have any recommendation. So, but yeah, Janet, aren't those cool? Look at them all. They look like little wands. Oops, I just had to get them. So, yes, yes, yes. So let me set those there. And oh, thank you, Nalani, for the hugs. I appreciate that. I'd known Jay since 2010 when I joined, the NAC and started meeting all the artists and stuff. And he was always a proponent and a supporter of my art. And thank you, Irene. Um, so, yes, so I do have those good memories. So, yes, those are lovely. So, Irene said, oh, that one crochet hook makes me want to crochet. Um, when I looked them up, I mean, they had like 4.5 stars, and people were saying they loved them. So, after I got them, I went through a little bit further down. And that's when I started noticing some people had mentioned some difficulty with them. So a whole set, pretty much, yes. And hello, Miss Nancy. Hello, 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 my dear. Um, I was never a great crochet. Now I have arthritis. Maybe I should try again. For me, the group that I go to on Thursday nights, they're pretty much all knitters. There was a couple that were doing some crochet, and so I'm kind of a little out of my league there. But I just can't. I don't know. To me, when I first tried it, it was too much. I kept banging the needles. I kept dropping the. For me, I think one, and this coming from someone who used to be a drummer, it's like you would think I would. But for me, the one crochet hook, is the one that works the best. I never had any wooden hooks in 40-ish years, but I think you did good making them all a little smoother. So I have to go slower and I have to be more patient because sometimes they will catch a little bit. So if I want to just pull them out from time to time while working on a piece, and they do tend, oh, excuse me, take a sip, and oh, everybody, this isn't an endorsement, but I just tried this today. It's called Bloom Pop, and it's a classic orange. It's kind of like a poppy. It tastes very good, not as strong as Orange Crush. It's a little bit lighter. I love it. It's very good. Mm. So I need a sip. So some of the hooks, though, are running a little bit bigger than the actual size. So I'm going to have to play around with that. Yeah, your mom was a great knitter. My grandma, Johnson, my mom, oh, they were all crocheters. They could whip up a blanket in no time whatsoever. Um, yeah, feels freer. Exactly. And it takes longer, some more yarn. They said at the table last night, Kat, to crochet like sweaters and things, but that's okay. For me, I need to keep it simple. And Nancy says, my grandmother had rheumatoid arthritis. Her hands were terribly crippled, but she made her hands crochet. It kept her hands from freezing up, helped her keep that mobility that she still had going. So definitely. And hello, Shay. Good to see you, my dear. So, wow, this weekend, everybody, and with Monday, um, it's a lot busy spiritual wise going on. So, I looked up New Moon again and come to find that the one website did say 2015, but then I looked at it, it was Copilot. So I think that was AI. So I went a little bit deeper, and one said Sunday, the 21st. So we have a new moon in Virgo on Sunday, the 21st. And then on Monday, we have the beginning of Mabon, the Celtic Pagan holiday it's the second harvest. And that lasts a week, but it's always on, basically it's the fall equinox, the autumnal equinox. And that's also, of course, on Monday. So we have a lot of stuff going on and things that I wanted to share, especially getting back into spiritual practices of the Celtic pagan myself in the Wiccan. And so I have some more comments here. Irene, mine was the same Nancy. She used to fall asleep and keep knitting for a couple of hours. Then she'd have to rip it all out. Oh my goodness. I had to do that. Oh, with everybody. My not sweater, but my scarf. You all saw me started working on. It is officially finished. So let me take this down, and here it is. My first crochet project since I got back into it after 10 years. It's very basic. It's a half double knit crochet, um, done taught a different way. Instead of a 2 or 3 turning chain, it's only a 1. And I found an easier way of doing it on YouTube. And so there it is. Beautiful, beautiful fall colors. They call this variegation citrus punch, which I find interesting. For me, it's all about um, fall colors. Oh, I know, Jana, isn't that beautiful? Oh, I gotta, yay! Thank you, everybody, for the kind words. But Jana's like, wow, what? Yes. So it's nice. I didn't want it super long, so I only needed 2 skeins. And it's finished finally. Ah! And Janet, you're going to love this. Because of Joann's going out of business, I know Michael's is trying to attract more of their crocheters and knitters. And they're doing this thing in the store where they're getting more in. And they're saying, well, if you liked this brand through Joann, she'll like this. And look what I found. It's really beautiful. It's a very delicate. I'm going to have to do a lot more practicing before I make anything out of this. But it is absolutely beautiful. It's an acrylic. It's by Loops and Threads. And it's just, oh my God, it's so soft. It's beautiful. And I have 2 skeins of this. So I'm learning as I go. It's a medium 4. So I'm learning what that means, especially when I get together with the women. They're talking about linen stitch and worsted wear and grams and things. And I'm just kind of like, Eventually, this is all going to sink. So sink in. So thank you, John. And Julie is here. Hello, Julie. How are you, my dear? And Irene says, I always go camping for the autumn equinox. Oh, enjoy, enjoy, enjoy. The colors are starting to turn here. And it's just beautiful. Thank you, Nancy. It's a simple stitch, but it's a start. Getting my feet back into it. And your mom loved fall colors. I love fall colors too. And Irene says, I love the colors. It would be beautiful with my brown, canvas coat. Looks more autumnal than citrus to me too. Yes. And lovely color combination of that lavender. I know. My mom unfortunately used cheap yarns. Is what my mom worked. We lived by Kmart. Kmart was very popular when I was younger. My mom worked as a cook and a waitress at the sandwich cafe, and this is going back in the day when you could smoke inside a building, especially with food. So, but yeah, she would get pretty much all her yarn from Kmart, and my clothes and all that. So I can't go this time. Makes you sad. Aw, flowing, Carmela. Oh my goodness. How are you feeling, my dear? Nancy mentioned that she saw you in another chat this past week. Oh, it's so good to see you again, my dear. I know the last time I saw you said you weren't doing so well. So I hope you're on the mend, that you're getting better and stronger every day. Oh, so good to see you, my dear. Alrighty, Nancy said that simple stitch will keep your neck warm this winter. It will. And that's right. Oh my God, beautiful. I love the soft tones. Heather, I've never used a red pattern. This is what these women are talking about. Patterns, and they're pulling them up and they're following this and that. And when I try to see them in the stores and the books to try to learn, girl, my brain just it jumbles them. It's like I can't focus. And right now and seams and put them together. It's going to take a while. I learned by watching the 14 and still only do by watching. Oh, watching at 14. You'll know. I don't know, Janet. I saw that cool project that you made with the skeleton in the coffin. That was pretty incredible and pretty badass. Kmart. I worked at Kmart. Yep. Williamsville, New York is where my mama worked at, and I would get out of school, and on some days I walk about a mile or so down Maple Road to Kmart, and there I could get my Nancy Drew book, or if I wanted a Barbie when she could afford it, or one of the strawberry shortcake dolls. So, are you serious? In Canada? Oh, no, no, we don't. Oh, no, Irene, we don't. As far as I know, I think they completely went bankrupt. We had one for a little bit in Niagara Falls, but that was a hot mess, that store. I'm getting better. I'm in my new apartment. Great to see you. And Carmela, I'm in our new apartment too. So good things for us, my dear. And Kat says, I learned by watching. Don't know the name of the stitches. Well, there are a lot of wonderful videos on YouTube. It takes me a hell of a time watching them over and over. Some are too quick, some are more for the expert, but I keep asking Spirit, just guide me to the right ones where I can, start figuring stuff out on my own. Yep, yepers. That's a video on YouTube by Annie's Creations. Post mortem Dolly. Okay, or Doily. Doily, excuse me, Dolly. What the fee? Girl, you're done already? Well, I hope you and Callie had a great show. You had a lot of people in chat. Miss Popularity. Your channel is building. That's awesome. So, everybody, especially Kat, if you're new, make sure to go over and hit that subscribe button and follow Ginger Faye, Tarot and Divine Musings. And also Nancy, she has a channel. So does Carol. I keep wanting to say Carolina because I hear Selena pronouncing it Carolina. Aquarius Moon. Alrighty, so we did. I hate we could. Oh, we can't always. That's why there's more shows, so that next week people can come back. That's how you keep bringing them back, Ginger. It's like, oh, next time we'll do. And they keep coming and they keep coming. What's that? Build it and they will come. Keep reading and they will come. So, Mabon, yes, yes, yes. Let me take a quick sip. The stuff really is good, y'all. Very good. So, Mabon, do I want to let me just pull out of my phone first because I have different sources. And so, technically, Mabon wasn't a holiday, or I don't want to say a holiday. I say a spiritual event necessarily practiced, like some of the other Celtic pagan sabbats. It was actually, I didn't realize, invented by an individual, which I will get to. So it's more of a neo-pagan modern holiday. And just let me see. No, come back here. Shoot. Okay, so the Mabon, woohoo, the Pagan Grimoire. I even love the font. Oops, you can't probably see it, can you? There we go. The Pagan Grimoire. No, I don't want that. So, Mabon is a Wiccan and modern pagan holiday that celebrates the autumnal equinox, the astronomical time of the year when day and night are equal. The same occurs at the spring equinox, which is Ostara in the Celtic pagan wheel. And I'm getting all these pop-ups, so I'm trying to get rid of those so I can read. It's the minor Sabbath of Mabon falls between the fire festival of Lughnasadh, which we had August 1st, and the Witch's New Year, which is Samhain, on the wheel of the year, which is now observed between September 21st to the 24th in the Northern Hemisphere. Mabon is the first day of fall. And unlike the ancient Celtic fire festivals, Imbolc, Beltane, Lughnasadh, and Samhain, there is no solid evidence that the Celts formally celebrated the fall equinox. But many other cultures did. The ancient Mayans designed Chichen Itza to mark the equinox sun, while Neolithic and Bronze Age peoples built sites like Carn in Ireland and Nadra, Naj, Najtra in Malta that align with the sunrise on this day. In modern times, Wiccans and contemporary pagans observe Mabon as a time of gratitude, balance, and preparation. It's the time to reflect on the harvest, both literal and metaphorical, and to begin releasing what no longer serves us as the wheel of the year turns towards winter. Mythologically, Mabon marks the descent of the Sun King, of the goddess into her crone aspect, and is associated with, and now they're cutting out, oh, they cut out the, wait a minute, they cut out the rest of the article. Oh, wait a minute. They cut out the rest of the article. Oh, no, here we go. And associated with Persephone's journey into the underworld. Alrighty. So then they go ahead at that website called the pagangrimoire.com, and they offer associations, herbs, colors, and foods. So herbs are myrrh, sage, cinnamon, bay, yarrow, rosemary, and rue. Plants are fall asters, mums. I don't know what y'all's favorite flowers during this time, but oh my God, my mom used to get all the mums in the reds, the oranges, the deep yellows, and she would just plant them all around the outside of the house. Thistle, sage, oak leaves, sweet asylum. Animals are owls, blackbirds, dogs. Oh my God, these pop-ups are never ending. Fox, stag, and squirrel, wolf as well. Crystals are hematite, tiger's eye, carnelian, quartz, amber, and lapis lazuli. And foods, of course, pumpkins, my favorite, apples, pomegranates, cinnamon, corn, cider, grains, root vegetables, and of course, colors orange, red, yellow, brown, copper. And deities are Mabon, Persephone, Cernunnos, Demeter, Epona, Morgan, or actually Morgan Le Fay should be in there, Ot. And there's one here that I've never seen before, so I will not be able to properly pronounce. And so everyone's saying hello to each other. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's ascending bar. Oh my goodness. Kristen Louise is here. Hello, Kristen. And Kristen, Shannon and I met a gentleman. He's taking over running the Artemis Institute while Regina's gone for a while. His name is Suma, and he shared with us that he follows Odin. He's an Odinist. So I was like, oh wow! I bragged about you. I said I have a friend in Ohio named Kristen, and she follows the Norse pagan, as well. So let's see. Nancy said I ordered an Aztec death whistle today. Ooh, okay, that should be interesting this Halloween. And never know who you might, call with that. So, oh my goodness. Oh, I'm sorry. I've been all this reading and talking and post-mortem doily. I wonder what that's for. Actually, I went to say doily, not dolly. Let's see. So I think I'm catching up. My system talk. Okay. So lots of chat. Oh, thank you, Nancy, putting Ginger's channel in there. Girl, what was it that was a couple weeks ago, Ginger? Something was earning. We were earning for something. Now we're earning for something. Or is it earning? I'm dipping some white Zinfandel. Oh, sipping. You're dipping? My goodness, ladies. And Ascending Butterfly is here. Hello, everybody. Oh, excuse me, Ascending Universal Butterfly. Another new subscriber to my channel. So welcome. Glad to see you here. And so everyone's saying hello, hello, hello. Ginger, I'll wait till you blow till you're asleep. Oh boy. Oh, if you get a knock on your door, she'll be like, what the fay? Send me back home. All right. 3 more thumbs up. Yes, yes. Okay, yep, you gotta earn it. There you go, girl. And what is the drink you're enjoying? Oh, for me, I'm again, this is a little shameless plug for Bloom Pop. It's another one of those prebiotic sodas, caffeine free, classic orange, only 4 grams of sugar, um, and it's 20 calories per can. Very tasty. So, Mabon's meaning in the wheel of the year. In Wiccan traditions, Mabon marks the second harvest when the goddess begins her transition from mother to crone, preparing to guide the world into the darker part of the year. The Oak King continues to wane, and the Holly King is growing stronger. The Oak and Holly King are twin aspects of the god who battle for dominance at the solstices. And we're not talking about the solstice, but however, by Mabon, his rule is fully established, the Holly King. So, let's see. It's also time to give thanks for what has come to fruition and to begin preparing for what must be let go. Most definitely. And I'm just going to close that up because I am just getting hit left and right with those pop-up ads. Let's see. That's it. Couldn't remember either. Okay. And Chris is saying there is house blot, if I pronounce that properly, or bloat, house bloat. And girl, red girl, I have no idea how to pronounce that. Renatir. I would have to look that up. 2 Norse pagan autumn holidays. Sorry about that, Kristen. I didn't mean that. So from this book that I got at the Ashland Exchange, wonderful, wonderful book. There's like a little 1 page, and I wanted to share what she wrote in here too. Pretty little purple ribbon. And it says here that the festival known as Mabon marks the autumnal equinox, which falls between the 22nd and 24th of September in the northern hemisphere, and is actually celebrated on March 20th in the southern hemisphere for all of our friends down in Australia, and I believe New Zealand as well. At this point, with day and night of equal length, comes the tipping point as the year passes from summer into winter. With Mabon, the night slowly but inexorably wins out over day, a time of gradual change as the year shifts towards its end. The second harvest festival in the wheel, amid the lessening daylight, Mabon marks a time to store food away for the winters ahead, for the winter ahead. The autumnal equinox has historically been a time of thanksgiving for the fruits of the earth, known variously as Harvest Home, the Feast of the Ingathering, Mein Famher, An Klapsur, or in Neo-Druidry, Alban Alfed. Celebrating a harvest festival around the time of the equinox is common in many cultures, a time of thanksgiving for crops safely gathered and a hopefully plentiful harvest. And hey, Roman, here we go. Ooh, I'm looking up and seeing more and more comments. So Roman is here. Hello, Roman. Ask Ginger, she knows French. That wasn't French. That was supposed to be Norse. So Mabon, this is what I found interesting. Mabon was named by Aidan Kelly in the 1970s. He took inspiration from the myth of Persephone, or Persephone, different ways, but Persephone, and found a very loose analogy to her story in the Welsh myth of Mabon ap Madron, where Mabon was stolen from his mother and imprisoned in an underwater dungeon. Kelly fixed upon Mabon as the name for this festival, and that is how it is widely known today. Important also at this time is the harvest moon, the name given to the full moon closest to the autumnal equinox. This moon is often witnessed as a magnificent red or orange glowing orb shortly after it rises above the horizon. So, lots and lots. I have another book, but I'm not even know if I'm going to get to that. We've got so much wonderful conversation going on here. So let me take Roman down. Thank you, everybody. 15 in chat. Oh my goodness. I can't remember a time when I've had so many. Um, okay, they're putting you to sleep. Okay, making sure I know I want to see that whistle. So maybe if Nancy has it by Monday, she can maybe show that during our goddess show. Divine Feminine show, Sacred Feminine show. And let's see. Okay. Oh, my mouse here. There is so much I've yet to learn, but I did get reindeer antler from a witch in Norway. Ooh, my goodness. That's powerful. That's a beautiful gift. Hopefully the animal, I'm sure, especially when it comes from an animal, it was either whether it was either hunted for the food for the family, or if it was found, there was still, a beautiful ceremony to honor, its life. I have my dad's antlers from I don't know how many years ago, and a deer skull that I found in a field. So they're very sacred to me as well. And we need a beautiful fire, maybe some dancing and singing. Oh, you got it, girl. That is definitely, yes. And then throwing, and one of the rituals that I've been seeing is people would, throw their offerings into the fire, after singing and dancing and reciting what it is they would want to release, and building that power up until they feel exhausted, like the energy had been released, and then throwing um, your offerings into the fire as a thank you. Let's see, everyone's saying, gotta go. Bye, Kat. Thank you for joining us. Oh, Nancy sent me a picture. I wonder what that picture is of. So this is the Aztec death whistle. No, wait a minute. Oh no, this isn't. Oh, she just took pictures of her fairy light, fairy lights on her porch. It's kind of hard. She's got a little fairy garden there. But Nancy, oh my goodness. Wow. So sparkly, so pretty. So I'm going to look at another book. This has been a very, interesting book. It's called Missing Witches. And Mabon, it's a basically their thing on Mabon chapter has to do with really deep feminist um, ritual in regards to a woman's body and what um, makes a woman, or what it's something where it's kind of PC in some ways, and there's some language in there. So this is going to be, maybe for a different, show, where I can fully read this, absorb it. But they were mentioning bits and parts of Mabon, and I wanted to share some of these as well. So, as of course, again, marks the autumnal equinox. Light and dark are equal, both hemispheres of the earth sharing light and dark in perfect balance. So the time when the earth is, basically in balance with itself. Now, if we go into that piecewise, right? But the darkness is growing. Make your last harvest. Gather. Reap what you have sown, knowing that nothing grows again until spring, except for witches within our hearts and minds. Much of our lives, internal and external, are determined by the presence of light, both literal and metaphorical. The moon is ever changing in her cycle, but has a solid planetary form. All that changes is the reflection of the sun on her face. All that changes is our perception. When you tend to think literally or metaphorically, for humans, for objects, shadows give dimension and depth. A circle drawn with shading becomes a sphere. So it shows how important, again, how the shadow is, with the light, to give shape, dimension, and depth. Just like as humans and spirits, divine spiritual beings, having this experience shows us the depth of what our spirit is. And of course, like Nancy and I say, and a lot of us say that, we're not going to realize the depth of our spirit until we've crossed over after this lifetime. But in the meantime, just trying to take in and learn as much as we can while we're here, and what we can embrace and learn before moving on. And it says here, our Mabon conjures mysteries, the moon and the world's first poet. Conjures, okay, conjures faces and shadows, multiplicity and immortality. This Mabon is about signing your name to your life and yourself. But never fear. Don't be intimidated. Mabon is one of the week-long sabbats, beginning on the autumn equinox and continuing through the last week of September. So we've got plenty of time to solve our inner mysteries before the darkness takes over and we slip into its embrace. I love that. And there was, let me find out what my other page is that I wanted to share. Page 222, second paragraph. And the second paragraph is, but maybe that's too easy to say. So, how do we speak our truth if we're not sure what that truth is? Like anything else, the self and the truth require personal investigation. The Hermit card. Mabon is the balance of light and dark, but we are moving toward and into the darkness. Inspired by Inanna's fullness, the goddess Inanna, her lover self and her warrior self in perfect balance, Mabon becomes the perfect time to explore our shadows, to get to know ourselves, and hopefully answer the question of what is my truth? So at this Mabon, at this equinox, sitting in, in hermit mode, in introspection, and asking ourselves, what is my truth? So I love that. And the one other thing I want to share before I check with chat and open up for readings is 223. So this might be a wee bit long. So at Mabon, but hang on with me, guys. At Mabon, as the shadow grows and covers the land, we must get comfortable with our own shadows. I asked my friend, witch, shadow worker, and forensic archaeologist Vanessa to help me to understand this concept. She said, shadow work to me is an essential part of knowing oneself. It means taking the proverbial good, hard look in the mirror at patterns and ways of dealing with things that are hurtful to you or to others. The reason that these keep showing up when you don't heal with them is because they are part of your because they are part of your shadow. Let's see. If you are fluent with tarot cards, the shadow would be the devil. Interesting. I'm thinking maybe it would be the moon, the shadow side, but this is interesting. Those thoughts and patterns that bog you down. Okay, I understand that one. You can feel there is something a little slimy in that darkness and you don't want to go there. But in not opening the drapes to let the light in, you're only letting that slime settle in. I believe all people who work with magic have a responsibility to work with their shadow. Mind you, you don't heal your shadow. You learn to live with it. How about that? Or you heal the consequences of your shadow. So again, we're always healing. Some people say, well, you deal with this, you should be healed by now and move on. We all heal at different paces, and according to some, we're constantly working with that shadow. We're constantly working through our fears, our pain, our traumas, and even sharing, happy moments that can be, welcomed by the darkness. If you don't do shadow work, then your love and light message is empty because it glosses over the most intricate of self-knowledge. Also, not understanding one's shadow could definitely lead to dangerous or negative spell work. I know some few people. As witches, whenever possible, we are responsible for our energies coming from a place of empathy and not of hurt. A very black and white example is if you are making a hexing spell against someone because they made you feel jealous. Then you are not addressing the shadow and being unethical. If you open the drapes and shed some light into why you felt that way, And then you made a spell to reinforce your own self-worth of this. Then you have healed the consequences of your shadow. Your shadow stays there. Shadow work is always ongoing. Ooh, that would be a great topic too for a future show about working with our shadow. And oh, I've lost some people. Well, I enjoy reading, so sorry for some. I lost some people, but let me get back to chat. Um, let's see. The Sami people are very close to reindeer. Yes. Can I throw the man firmly? Thank you, Ginger. I don't think physically you can do that. Maybe, metaphorically in your head. I have porcupine quills from a poor little guy that got hit by a snowplow. Oh, I sat with it and prayed until it passed. Oh my God, Irene, that is so beautiful. I did the same with a deer. It that was such a gift to be able to spend it, an animal's last moments of life, being cared for as it transitioned, as it crossed over. Wow. I was going to make earrings with them, but was told that it was indigenous appropriation by natives. So, but who told you that though? Was an indigenous? I'm just curious. Was an indigenous person that told you that? I don't know. That's sad. I know Birdie White Sage is closed practice, but indigenous people sell quill earrings online, so I can't imagine that being off limits. Thank you for these sharings. They're so beautiful, Heather. You're welcome. There is two schools of thought on that, Kristen, at least up here in my part of Canada. So yeah, Irene's up near probably the Seven Nations. So yeah, I can understand that. I have a friend in Arizona, and it's a lot of things that are taboo, and there is still some resentment of white folk, doing certain things like buying kachinas and doing certain things. So it's still a very sensitive subject, depending on the individual, themselves as well, and how they upbrought. So yeah, it can vary from person to person, or from tribe to tribe or nation. Our friend shadow work, hidden gems waiting to be revealed. Oh, sometimes they don't feel like friends, but that's when we have to kind of make them our friends. Yep. Shadow work is integral to being whole in the end. Embracing and acceptance, just like the equinox. Let's see. I love that, Heather. What is that book? That book is called The Missing Witches by Risa Dickens and Amy Torek. And I believe they're also Canadian. They're in Quebec. So these are the ladies, Irene. And they both live in Quebec. I believe they're partners. So, Beth! Hello, Beth. Aspasia Rising is here. Am I getting caught up? Work lurking. Selena, my dear, thank you. I know you work so hard, my dear. I appreciate you taking time out to hang out with me and us. Mona Lee is here. Yes, it was an honor. Sad, but there was no way of saving him. And we gave them that support as they passed. That comfort. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's still not with you. I know the dear spirit that I was with either is still with me or alerted other deer within my life since I was 8 years old about certain things, when to appear, and especially when I'm driving at night and things and stuff. So, yeah, I believe they stay with you. Yes, it was an indigenous woman that told me that. Okay. So everyone's saying hello. Oh, you got to see that too, Selena. I tried showing it on here, but it was just so bright, so beautiful. And Romans says the shadow is not our enemy, it is our proving ground. Proving ground. But we can be gentle with that proving ground. When I hear proving ground, it almost feels like, oh, gaining, like taking like a warrior stance, where I think maybe sometimes with our, I mean, maybe our shadows do require a warrior stance from time to time to be able to address some of the traumas. But that's very interesting, Roman. Thanks for sharing that. Selena, loving that gift box you got from Ramon. Let's see. I need to go exercise my chubby hubby Bodie, but I will still be listening. Aw, my chubby buddy Hobody. Yeah, I'm surprised where I wonder where mine is, but he has been um, losing weight, so that's good. I know, Carmela, lots of new faces, lots and lots of wonderful new faces. Looks like a great book to add to my pile of books I got this summer but haven't read. Yep, I had to slow down. I've been buying a lot too. So everyone's saying, hanging out with the lady friends. Of course. Welcome, welcome. We did, it's funny that you say that. We had a gentleman join our knitting group last night. And at one point, one of the women, because one of the women there is pregnant, and so we kind of started talking about women menses and stuff and things like of that nature, and menopause and hormones and things. And I would say it didn't. He pretty much got up and said, "Well, have a good night, lady." He took off, and after he left, we were all kind of like, "Did we chase him away?" Oh well. um, but let's see. Let's see. So everyone's still talking. Let me see. I'm trying to catch up. And about the decks. I'm so excited, Nancy. I'm getting the um, uh, oh, Seasons of the Witch Mabon. I'm hoping that it gets here by Monday. They said between the, oh no, the 24th. Oh no, it won't be until, after a Monday show, but it should be here by, by the 24th. Nobody here had it. When we talk about spirit animals, I never thought of the porcupine, Heather. You are likely right on that. And the other day, for the first time, I saw a mink. And Shan and I were at Lithia Park, and all of a sudden, this little creature came like, not like super fast, but enough for us to see him. And for a second, I thought, oh, that was a brave squirrel. And then I'm like, wait a minute. My brain, and I go, that wasn't a squirrel. And I told Shan, I just saw something. I don't know if it's a mongoose or if it's a ferret. And we're trying to look around the rocks. And he poked back out, kind of looked at us and took off. It was a mink. And he even never said a mink. So, ooh, I'm adding some beads to a butterfly needlepoint. But I'm listening. Oh, sounds beautiful, Janet. I'm sweet and a stinker too. Oh no, I lost all my decks and books with the move. Oh, excuse me, flowing honey, Carmela. I am so sorry, sweetheart. We had to leave a lot of things behind. I had to give away decks and things and stuff, but I try to bring as much. So even though I didn't lose all of them like you did, I'm so sorry, sweetheart. Oh, hopefully that they will go to people that will take good care of them. They will find new homes. So for tonight, I had an idea for some readings. I didn't know how many people were going to come hang out with me. So I'm doing equinox readings, and it's going to be kind of like a three-part question. And I have my secret language of light, and the secret language of darkness, which were both beautiful gifts from Ramon. I'll be using those tonight. And I also will pull some tarot cards for clarifiers if need be. And so the first question is, what do I need to release to the shadow for healing? What do I need to receive from the light? Of course, in quotations, for healing. And three, how do I manifest balance? So if anybody would like a reading based on those three questions, please let me know. Yeah, flowing. Where are you, if we can ask? I basically moved from one coast to the other. Illinois. Well, that's where my grandma's from. My grandma grew up in the Chicago outside, well, Chicago and outside area. Nice, and you have the Chicago Museum of Art. Never been there, but I hear it's absolutely beautiful. You know, I was going to say, flowing. If you have an Amazon wish list, let us know. We can always. I know for certain crystals you can't get back, but for certain decks, um, if you have one, and maybe one of my mods can find it, if it's okay with you, they can go ahead and post the link in the chat. And maybe, I'm not putting pressure on any chatters or anything, but maybe if we can find a link, maybe we can have, maybe some folks who have a little extra can maybe help you with a few decks. So, um, if that's okay with you, it was a thought that came to me. So I'm getting requests. So let me back up a little bit. Okay, I know I saw Nancy was the first, so there's Nancy. Nancy, and then Irene. Ooh, my son went to college at the Chicago Institute of Art. Wow, Selena. So, okay, hold on a second. So, Mona Lisa, if someone, if it's okay with you, well, first of all, we don't know Mona if she has one. So there's going to be no pressure on Carmela. That's flowing. But if she says she has one, or if she can, in Carmela, if you don't have one and you want to create one, and if you start showing up in our chats, I mean, I can't speak for other readers, but in my chat, I would always be happy to put up that link to see if anyone would be able to help out here and there with some of those decks. Ginger would like one. Under pressure. Gotta read for Ginger. Okay, she says no, that's okay. Oh, well, always let me know. Mona. And so Ginger, Carmela has declined, and that's okay. And Shay. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm at 5:55 here my time. So that should just about do it. But let's see how long these readings take. So let me just kind of adjust all my books here and make room. So I should use my tiles tonight for fun. Everybody loves the tiles. Alrighty, so the tiles will be clarifiers when needed. Okay. So here we go. Nancy. Okay, what do I need to release to the shadow for healing? These cards are beautiful, but oh my god, the card stock is so thick and they're big. It's just kind of like, ow, I'm trying to shuffle them. But they're beautiful. Spread the love. That's right. Oh, so Flowing, you were with me when I got the tiles. Okay. Are they Hay House? These cards, I don't think so. Here, let me find. Nope, they're Blue Angel. And I think this is something that is regular with them, because I know I've had some other Blue Angel decks that were kind of So let me to receive. How do I manifest balance? So I'm going to have to use here. Let's use the tiles for that one. How do I manifest balance? Ooh, we got two tiles sticking to each other. Okay, so Nancy, what do I need to release to the shadow for healing? Girl, you got to release that worry and the illusions of control. So, according to this card, there are still some worries that you have. It's like pick one. I mean, you're a your grandma, you're a mama, you're a friend, and so with your kind heart and compassion, I can see how you would worry about others. You know, being concerned for the grandbabies and their future, for your sons. There was, I mean, you have such a big, beautiful family, and between you and Ginger having gone through, Helene 2 years ago, or no, it's a year ago. There's still that sense of I probably worry that carries with you or goes with you moving forward. But right now, what you need to release to the shadow is that worry and that illusion of control, having to control everything and allowing things to happen um, naturally on their own. Kind of like, giving to spirit and having that trust and faith in spirit. And the worry card goes with, because it says here, how do I, manifest balance? One of your tiles is the worry card from the RWS. You got that Nine of Swords. So this is what is going on here. So to get that balance, releasing the worry, trying to make sure you get enough sleep, enough rest at night for yourself, and to maybe work on releasing of trying to have control on things, or and not just you having control of things, but you listen to people, you're very empathic with people. And sometimes when you listen to us, and I say us because everybody knows I go to Nancy when things are rough, things are hard. And, she's been kind of like my rock too for the past couple of years, especially this last year. Sometimes we take on the worries of others. So just trying to release that control, not always having the answers, but just knowing that you are enough. You loving, us, your family, your friends is enough, and try to not worry, so much about, the future, being more present. And it says in the for what do I need to receive from the light? Manifestation. So send out there what, instead of putting out, what you're worried about, putting out what you hope for, what you would, like to see coming to you, your loved ones, to the world. We talk sometimes about, the state of our country, things like that. Manifest things that what at this time of year, what is it that you desire? Like the cards last night. This time of year, kind of looking at finding this balance and moving into with the second harvest, what we're grateful for, and looking at what is it that still that we want to manifest, is it that we desire, that we want to bring into fruition, and just put that out there. Manifestation of embracing from the light what is coming to you, be open to receiving that. And then of course your third question, how do I manifest that balance? And you got the manifestation card. The underlying energy again is leaving that worry, leaving, the cruelty of what's going on in the world, what might be around you, what you see on TV, and just, letting that go. Um, Rest deeply, knowing that there are those that love you, and that, that again, like that whole saying of, we're all in this together. But like I said, I know you've been through a lot. And life can be very uncertain. I know that for a fact too this week. So that underlying energy of letting go to find that balance, trying to let go of that, those nightmares, those fears, things that keep you up. And your top card, oh, your top tile, excuse me, is the Ace of Swords. So being open again, like with the manifestation, opening that crown. Here's the have clarity, connecting with your guides. Keep doing that, connecting with your guides, your divine feminines, your spirit team, your ancestors. You mentioned doing a beautiful reading today. Tap into that beautiful energy. Um, with that Ace of Swords, embracing from spirit, from the light, new ideas, clarity, new ways of feeling and sensing, opening that crown chakra. That sword is piercing that crown chakra. So opening up, letting that light come in and sitting and being with that, embracing that shadow and giving that to the shadow and just finding that balance, manifesting that balance. So that's what I have for you, my dear. Making me hungry. Oh, are people talking about food? I have not eaten dinner yet. I have not eaten. So what we got going on here? Oh, I love asparagus too. Okay, asparagus rising. I see what the. Oh my goodness, that's too funny. You should buy stock. And I know Kristen's back. Hello, Kristen. Um, Beth, I'm here for the new card stock. It's shuffle. Oh, so we're talking about a new deck. Aspasia, darn spell check. I know. Isn't that hysterical? Happens. Oh my goodness. We love you, Beth. We do, we do, we do. Um, so I love asparagus too. Smelly Pete, yes. And then broccoli, you get the gas. But so Nancy says, I'm working on this. It's not worry. Honestly, I don't worry, but I often doubt myself. I'm working on this. My guides are helping me with this. So there you go. Release the doubt, release that illusion of control, and just have trust in your intuition, in what your abilities are, and what your cards and guides say to you. All right. Does it feel like a sword? Yeah, that's one of. But Nancy, you didn't get the Tower card. You didn't get your Stalker card. So we're still talking about asparagus. The Chariot. I think you got Chariot last night. No, you didn't get Chariot last night. You got something else, I think. Um, I know this sounds crazy, but the Tower card gives me great solace. And Mona Lee grew her hometown asparagus. Okay, now everyone's making me feel hungry. I get it. Nancy, I see the tower as breaking down barriers and old walls we build for ourselves, opening up for something new. Yes, I like that. And Beth, I found this to be very true. If we face and survive the worst, there is nothing to fear. Okay. Here you all are salivating over vegetables, and I'm eating a cereal. That sounds good too. My son Brendan and I made sausage, potato, kale soup. Ooh. Oh, Kristen, me? Okay, let me see if I can get you on the list. I have quite the list already. Alrighty, so I need to get my butt going. I got a lot of reads. So next up is Irene. So what does Irene? Oh, these cards stick too. What does Irene need to release to the shadow for healing? I'll add you, Julie. I have quite the list. I'll try to get to you, sweetheart. So, okay. And I keep looking at my phone because these cards stick. I just set up my autumn altar and reading space today. Oh, and if you guys have not seen it, Miss Tarot D released a video today of how to make these cute little broomsticks out of either cinnamon or tree sticks. Did a wonderful little tutorial, and it's absolutely adorable. I highly recommend going over to Miss Tarot D's channel and checking that out. I think I'm going to try to make one. Alrighty, so wait, how do I manifest balance? Ginger, you saw it? Wasn't it awesome? And who knows, maybe because I'm talking about her, she'll pop in and say hi. Ooh, I got 3 tiles for Irene. 2 were sticking, they didn't want to let go, and there was a 3rd. So let's see what we got here. Okay, so Irene, what you need to release to the shadow for healing. You got reimagine, define who you are, create who you want to be. So giving this to the shadow. So from what this card is saying, I am getting the fear of not being authentic, of not being an authentic person, thinking about looking at ethics, being your whole self, self-worth, self-image, know thyself. So this is about reimagining who you are, defining who you are, create who you want to be, and not letting others do that. So that could possibly be what's going into the shadow. Not allowing what past mistakes or thoughts you feel are defining you, what others say define you, and sending all of that that pain or trauma, or just enough of the, oh my God, the drama, into the shadow, and allow it to be absorbed and like the card says, reimagine. You take control over who you are, defining what you do, who you are, again, what you create. And I love the card that goes with it for the light, because it says here, what do I need to embrace from the light? You are the universe. So giving to the shadow what you fear that is not you, or even the fears of not, if you feel like you may never get to be who you authentically want to be or truly want to be because of life, of traumas, events, experiences, people, all that. This is the time to reimagine. We're going into the dark season. This is a time where we find balance. And what the light wants you to embrace is that you are the universe. And this is a great card too, and these readings for all of us. Remembering we are part of the universe, that energy, and we can tap into that, embrace that at any time. So really quick, Heather, someone can have my spot. Phone is about to die. Oh, Ginger, I will do one for you, and I'll record it and I'll send it to you. How about that? And thanks for being here, sweetie. How do I find, or how do I manifest balance? So the first tile up is temperance, connecting and getting grounded with both your emotions and getting grounded in the earth. With those cups, taking things in moderation, keeping balance, keeping your emotions in check, keeping thoughts in check. But really, for me, it's a lot more about the emotions, making sure you're grounded, so that once we're properly grounded, then we can tap into the emotions more, explore the emotions. Like in that book said, sit with the emotions. Our emotions are beautiful. It's what makes us who we are. And we're always going to have the shadows and these emotions. And so, like with that angel, balancing those emotions back and forth, maintaining that balance. And also with the moderation, maybe exposing yourself to things that make you feel unbalanced. Your middle tile that came out is the Page of Wands. So for me, this is that messenger. This is also can be you coming in and grabbing that staff of manifestation. The wands are about manifestation, motivation, inspiration, creativity. it's time to take that staff and start looking at it and holding on to it and thinking, what can I do with this? The power is in my hands now. It's gone from an abstract concept of just the ace of wands, and now it's being handed to you, or you're grasping that and seeing what you can do to move forward. And right now, your last tile, you got the Two of Pentacles. So it's going to be, again, a balancing act, just like the Temperance card. So how do you manifest balance? You're already doing that. You're balancing, you're juggling um, finances. You know, pentacles are earth. So you are connected to the earth. So for me, this is making, what I'm feeling from this is that the earth helps you maintain the balance, helping you be able to juggle health, life, work, study, um, and your spirituality. So right now it is a balancing act, but like with all the tiles and with the cards, reminding you that you are the universe. You have the energy, you have that ability, and it's time, you know, this is the time to tap in that energy and reimagine who you are. So that's what I have for you, my dear. I'm going to take another sip, even though it's making me burp a little bit. I'll lurk. I just can't type message. It's okay, Ginger. If you want, I can always, record one for you. Let's see who would be Irene, not Irene. Selena's next. So Irene, I hope that resonated. So, and I just want to say too, really quick, thank you everybody for being here to support me. I know my Fridays have been a little off and I'm more solo lately. And so for those who have gone out of their way to say, hey, I can hang with you this week, and then being here for those when I'm going solo myself, I appreciate the support for myself and my channel. You're greatly, greatly appreciated. So Selena, what does Selena need to release to the shadow for healing? Burp away. Yeah, what does Selena need to receive from the light? Oh, thank you, Nancy. Oh, Kristen, we'll have to make a date then. Maybe on a Friday night you can join me and we can talk about shadow work. Thank you, Selena. My Fridays just quite haven't been the same, but I appreciate you all being here to support me. How does Selena manifest balance? How do I find balance, manifest balance? I originally wrote find, and I thought, well, finding, it's more like manifesting, because we have the power to be able to do that. Oh, yes, you could, Kristen. Yes, you could. You're a badass reader, so yes, you could. All righty, so Selena, my dear, what needs to be released to the shadow? You got dark night of the soul, ego patterns soften, and soul wisdom emerges. So releasing ego patterns, patterns of things that, whatever it is that you may say to yourself, or we find our ego gets in the way of telling us things that we can or cannot do, who we can or cannot be, what we can or cannot accomplish. All these things that the ego tries to keep us into place with, because egos were put there to keep us safe. But there are ones that sometimes that just take us through the dark night of the soul. And it's okay to have those. I've had many, we've all had many of them, and we will continue to have them again, because why? The shadow is a place that we heal. We're always healing. We're always connected with our shadow. So I love how it says here the soul wisdom emerges. So not only are you giving to the shadow things that you feel, the ego's kind of like, like devil card. It's that control. It's that the ability to kind of like bind us, to keep us in those tight patterns of thinking, of things, of ways of things. Oh my goodness, keeping us tied in or bound to patterns of thinking, of perceiving, of believing about us, about others. And I love how it says the wisdom, soul wisdom emerges. So with this card, when you give to the shadow, that's what the shadow gives back as a gift. Our soul wisdom emerges. We see the shadow for our shadows for what it is, and how it's there to help us to heal, and and accepting our gift. So what we give to and release to the shadow are gifts, gifts from ourselves to our shadow. It's basically gifts to our, it's where I'm saying it's gifts still to ourselves, to our shadows. And then, when we ask our guides, our deities that we work with, they're there to be a part. We welcome them to the shadow, and they can help us from there, take those ego patterns, to soften them, to show us through that darkness the wisdom that we have, that we just need to be reminded of. And when it says to what do I need to receive from the light for healing, I got the soul tree. And for me, this speaks of not just your spiritual team, your deities that you work with, your ancestors, your guides, the animals, but also people that are in your life, your soul tribe, friends, family, us here, that we're here. How do I say this? Whenever things get rough, we're always here for you. It's like, what do I need to receive from the light? The soul tree, embrace, welcome, receive the love, the light that you get from the other side, and your spiritual team, from all the people that we know around the world through YouTube, that care about us, that support us, that nurture us. Exactly, we are your soul tribe. We are here for each other. And sometimes, like families, we fight, we don't speak to each other for a while, but still, we are all still connected on that tree. All of us have touched each other's souls for a certain reason, even if it's for a season, as they say. But we are all still connected, and to embrace those gifts, even when they may no longer be offered to us, we still have the memories of those beautiful gifts as well. But still taking everything, um, yes, taking everything that is offered to you from those in your circle, like you said, your beautiful soul tribe. And how do you find or maintain or manifest balance? Um, and I love this. Three of Pentacles, through collaborations, working with others, um, you know, finding balance with, family, with work, school. There are those that help you do that. Hubby helps you. Darla helps you. She's there to, help mama, because by showing love, she's part of that soul tree also. The animals, they're there to give you that support, to support you, to guide you, to help you envision your dreams and manifest them. And your other tile is the Page of Swords. This to me just really feels like, with you, with work, communication. You find ways of communicating still with people. You communicate beautiful messages. You are taking those connections to spirit from the Ace of the Swords, and you're grabbing onto those and seeing, what can I do? What can I communicate to help others, to help myself, to help the community, in ways, and even developing ways of clear communication, with your guides, with your higher self, with your future self, and your dreams that you have, those goals that you want to plan. That's that page. You're that page grabbing that sword and saying, okay, it's time. At least with this one here, they're not running. Some decks show them running with the sword. With here, you're grounded, you're standing firm, you're holding on to those thoughts, and you're going to be examining. And again, like with the ego, the sword is double edged. It can be used for good and it can be used for ill. So with that dark night of the soul, remembering that, with the swords, our thought patterns, our ego, to start softening those edges maybe a little bit, where they need to, and then keeping them sharp for, your school that you're doing, your degrees that you're earning. Oh my God, girl, and doing your work. I mean, that takes a lot of mental focus and clarity and strength to be able to do that while dealing with things on a physical, level, with health and, with finance and everything. So this is really, wow, a powerful reading for me, um, for me to say, to give, but it's just beautiful. And these cards too, for everybody, we all go through those dark nights of the soul. And as a soul tree, again, we all have our personalities, we all have our pros and the cons, but I don't say, negative aspects, or but we all are part of this whole universal family. We are all here for each other, and to tap into that whenever is needed. So that's what I have for you, Selena. Let me back up a bit here. I get to hang with the best ladies of tarot. Okay, let me start. Okay, let me start up here. Oh, thank you, Beth. That means a lot. It really does. I'm going. Yes, you're going to New Orleans, but we should try to make it happen before then. Well, I thought you were going to celebrate Anne Rice's birthday, though. So if you go sooner, you would miss out on that, wouldn't you? Sweat, a pleasure. You mean sweet? Woo, is it getting hot over there, Roman? But yeah, I know all about sweat, especially with hot flashes, but I digress. Um, you're funny. Let's see, St. John, excuse me, of the Cross came up with the term dark night of the soul. He meant when you feel like God has abandoned you, but you are actually closer to them. Wow. Just because we can't see them doesn't mean that they're not there. That shadow. I like that. Yes, that was very interesting. Thank you, Kristen. See, girl, you got it too. We all do. And yep, I'll be hugs to Selena. Let's see. Thank you. That's beautiful. Oh, you're welcome. Perfect. The Three of Pentacles. Good. I'm glad we got one of those cards that were good. Ooh. Husband built a bookshelf for me today to house my decks and books that no longer fit on my old shelves. Oh, girl, that sounds wonderful. I need shelves. I really, really do. And Roman says trees have roots. They reach with branches and grow towards the light. Yep, just like that swords card, connecting with the crown chakra. We're reaching up while staying grounded, staying sure-footed. School, yes, but oh my God, you are kicking ass and taking names, Selena. Really. Even though there are days when you feel like your ass is getting kicked and the universe is taking names, girl, how you do it. I love you too. And you called off yesterday. Well, I'm glad you called off, and I'm so sorry you were in severe pain. Yes, and how are you today? And sometimes when I read the thoughts and the messages come so fast, I have a hard time getting them out without stuttering all over and go. Blah, blah, blah. I gotta learn how to control that. My pain is manageable, not as bad as yesterday. I went to an already scheduled hair appointment and lounged all day. Sweet. Watched Vincent Price movies with my husband. The last one that I saw him was something to do with a house on Haunted Hill or something. It was kind of silly the way it ended, but at the same time, it's sometimes with some of those old black and white classics are just fun. They really are. Yep, November 1st is a celebration. My ass is getting kicked at times. Yeah, you've shared, but girl, you're kicking it right back and you're taking names. You are more okay. And it's so funny, Kristen, because you can ask Nancy. I've told Nancy the way Kristen delivers her messages. I wish I had that kind of articulation, that kind of words and language and speech. So it's interesting how we reflect each other. The last man on earth you were watching. Okay, so I gotta get back to going here. I think Ginger, I'm going to record yours and I'm going to send it to you. Um, if that's okay still with you, because I know you said your phone was dying. Is Mona still here? So I still have Mona, Shay, Kristen, and Julie. I'm going to try to get to as many as I can. Hey, Shelby. Oh, enjoy your night, my dear. Thank you for popping in and saying, "Oh my God, Kristen." Yes, Kristen Louise is awesome, and her deck as well. So, Mona, let me know if you're here. Okay, so Mona hasn't responded, so I do believe I'm trying to see who I've seen in chat. Um, let's see, Shay, are you here? Shay, oh, there's Mona. Okay. Alrighty, so let me get the tiles in. Now remember, Nancy and I will be back on Monday for our Sacred Feminine, and we'll be talking about Mabon, and I'm going to be talking about Morgan Le Fay. So Nancy and I have to get together, but we can also, do readings as well for y'all on that date on Monday too. If I can't get to everybody. Yep, I see Mona is here. So Mona, what does Mona need to release to the shadow for healing? Oh, Nancy's going. Bye-bye, Nancy. Good night. Sleep well, my dear. No worries. Enjoy your beautiful Fae garden. And what does Mona. What does Mona need to receive from light? Yes, no? Okay. Interesting, a very similar card. Soul Family. Okay. How does Mona balance? Okay. Oh, a lot of quartz tonight. So, Mona, what do you need to release to the shadow for healing? It's interesting. You got the shadow name card. Unlock the mystery of your shadow. So, before I think you can really do shadow work, it looks like it's asking for you to introduce yourself to your shadow, to maybe do a ritual, especially with the new moon on Sunday coming up. Maybe sitting in the darkness, maybe lighting a candle, having maybe a piece of paper or something, and connecting. Shadow name is interesting. In the book, when I first read it, it's about people creating a spiritual name for ourselves so that when we go to our shadow, the shadow recognizes us by a spiritual name. It's something that was recommended. So, it's basically it's asking you to like maybe meet and create something very personal with the shadow, with your shadow self. It feels like it's something that you've been wanting to work with and connect, but might have been too afraid of. So here, use unlock the mystery of your shadow. Maybe create a shadow name for yourself. But when you go to sit in silence and meditation, you can say, okay, I am, and I'm just going to make this up. Let's say your shadow name is Dark Raven, and say, this is Dark Raven. I'm here to connect with my shadow self, or my shadow self known as Dark Raven. What can you teach me? What do I need to release to you? Um, so allowing your shadow self, that darkness, to be your temple, and to let that light of yours shine within that darkness and say, "This is who I am." So, um, yes, I need to forgive. How cool is that? So this is about working and connecting with your shadow, becoming connected to it, um, developing more of a, I'm hearing like a symbiotic relationship with it, where it, okay, these are weird words coming, where it biologically recognizes you on a spiritual level. How's that possible? It's kind of like, maybe it's a metaphor. When like one cell recognizes a good cell and they come together, something like that, where you need to feel safe and comforted. And by creating that shadow name, you're allowing, you have the key to enter your shadow and to become reacquainted with her. It's always been there. And I shouldn't maybe necessarily say her. For all I know, all intents purposes, your shadow could maybe be a masculine energy, or no gender whatsoever, but just that energy where you recognize each other on a soul level. And what do I need to receive from the light for healing? Again, soul family. So again, just like Selena's card, the soul family. So for me, I'm feeling like more of ancestor work, spirit guides, whoever you're, whether you believe in a god or a goddess, or if it's an archetype within yourself. This is about connecting with a soul family, and you can kind of see the faces too. They use Kuan Yin, I believe, in here. So going and connecting with your deities, your archetypes, however, whoever your spiritual team is, or your ancestors, and communing with them, and connecting with them. Maybe call upon them to be with you, to when you go to enter your temple of your shadow self, to ask them to lend you their protection if you feel the need for that support and that protection. They're all there to work together for you and with you. And with your tiles, how do I find, manifest, or maintain balance? Your over underlying energy, just like Selena, is that Page of Swords. So for this one here, this is that messenger coming in. Again, connecting with your soul family. And this was actually seen right under the soul family card. That sword, communication, cutting through, any self doubt, um, that you might have of who you're connecting to when you do your spiritual work. It's kind of like an antenna, that sword connecting through your crown chakra and connecting to your soul family. So that message is coming through. They're wanting you to take that sword, to connect with them. Start being open to communication with them. Maybe like doing some, oh, what's that writing that you do? Automatic writing, where you just ask for maybe certain words or phrases or something to connect with your spirit team or your higher self to guide you through that. But this is the mentor saying, yes, this is what we're doing. Here is the sword. And your overall energy on top that I'm looking at is the King of Wands. So think creatively. This is a very creative person. They're grounded, they're mature, they know how to rule from a place of creative inspiration, enthusiasm. They're somebody that people look at and go, wow, they have charisma. They know how to get things done. They're very creative. They know how to think outside of the box. So getting grounded and tap into that King of Wands energy. How can I, have fun with this? Not to be afraid, but be creative, be inspired, get motivated, and as before, they will come. And that's what I have for you, Mona. Thank you for letting me read for you. Let's see. Let me catch back up. That is part of IFS, internal family systems, introducing yourself to your parts. My therapist has been trying to get me to do it. Um, I would love to create names. So cool. I've been thinking about doing that too. That would be a great, Kristen. Let's do a show, maybe on a Friday or something during the week or weekend that's good for you. Um, let's talk about shadow work and like that one post too that you had on Facebook. I would still love to have a discussion with you on that. I totally get it. Awesome. Love my ancestors and spirit guides and ascended masters. Okay, they are there to be there with you, even just to wait outside the doors, wait outside the pillars while you go into your shadow space, your shadow realm, um, and sit and meet with her. Uh, thank you. So, alrighty, let me do another sip. Okay, Shay, are you still here, my dear? Shay, Shay, Shay. Shay going once, going twice. Okay. So Kristen, oh, okay. Just like, are you there? So okay. So I have Shay, and then I have Kristen, and if I can fit Julian, I will. But I am at 6:38, so I should have enough time for two more readings. Okay, for Shay. Hit the nail on the head. Thank you. Okay, you're welcome. What do I need to release to the shadow for healing? What does Shay need to release to the shadow for healing? Okay. I wonder where Miss Tara D and Tom is tonight. I missed them in chat. No, Kristen, we're fine. We're good. Everything is perfect. Whoa, we went two cards. Oh, okay. Well, two cards want to come out for Shay. Alrighty, so how does Shay find, manifest, team balance? Oh, thank goodness Allison made this break for me because, oh, all these tiles. I love them, but, whew. I had a smaller bag, and one night they went almost all of them flying out. Interesting. Oh, okay. So, Shay, this is very straightforward. Oh, look at these tiles. So, what do I need to release to the shadow for healing? Girl judgment. When all sides are equal, the path of liberated wisdom appears. So, releasing to the shadow, judgment. Judgment of self, judgment of others, or judgments of events that have happened. I'm feeling this is drawing me to maybe not recent past events, but something a little bit further back that still um, you know needs to be worked on letting go of. And it says here, when all sides are equal, the path of liberated wisdom appears. And I think when you are ready to release that judgment of a particular event or situation that happened, it's kind of like all sides are being seen of the situation. By giving that to the shadow, going into the shadow space, it will be able to provide for you that space that you need, to be able to look at all sides of a situation, people's, particularly like other people that might have been involved, things that you were going through at the time, things, all different elements that were going on that made this particular situation um, and or event something that you've been holding on to, and that you have strong judgment on that needs to be released. And it says here, liberated wisdom. So you will be able, that wisdom, it will provide the wisdom, the insight for you to see, okay, I'm starting to understand and see where this is coming from. Okay, I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be worked on boom all at once, of course not. The shadow there is to help us process these and to have them have a less of a hold on our spiritual development, our happiness. Um, and for what do I need to receive from the light for healing? Two cards came right out, and I'm going to honor both of them. When you embrace the light, you will gain insight, like with the shadow. I think the shadow is going to provide you that wisdom that will make you be able to see, okay, this is the insight I needed to receive. You'll feel it through your body, or you start working with that light through your body. And when you do that, alignment will occur. Things will start to align. Things will be, energy will be able to move through more clearly. And what I'm going to recommend, and of course, YouTube, this is for entertainment purposes only, always seeking professional assistance. But when it comes to a holistic, when I was learning Reiki, we used to practice dropping energy light through our centers and going to and stopping at each chakra, or seeing where this ball of light goes through our body and where it hesitates, and where it is we look at that area, give that area white light, or give that area the light that corresponds with that chakra. Like, envision that white, if it starts coming through and all of a sudden you feel like it stops with your throat, you can't bring the light, maybe focus the white light on your throat more, and with the blue light, because your throat chakra is like a blue turquoise like color. And when we work through that, maybe they'll be able to open that up, and then you could go down, and when you start processing the light coming from above and sending that into the earth and back and forth, and that will bring you into enlightenment. And if you're looking at the cards, I know a lot of these have the cross, like, but here we have that cross, like you're bringing your earth, your body, into the center. And in the center here, there's that sword again, that sword of truth, of communication, of clarity, that is all going to align and break through when you're able to bring that light through to your body. And how do I find or manifest balance? Beautiful cards, your underlying energy. By doing the alignment and the insight and working with that shadow, you got the sun. And the sun is about success, happiness, joy, prosperity. I mean, it's one of the most positive, if not the most positive, um, um, card in the deck. And so tapping into that childlike wonder, that youthfulness. So when I'm looking at the young child, I'm thinking this situation or event might have been maybe when you were younger, when you were a child age. And the top tile is the Ace of Wands. So the universe, again, is handing you this energy of creativity, of inspiration, of motivation, um, grabbing that wand and saying, what can I do? How can I get this creative idea or project, or even just getting creative, getting create motivate. How can I get motivated to creatively tap into all this potential and insight, and what can I do to manifest that? How can I take that energy that's being given to me and manifest all this, especially that success. And so that's what I have for you, my dear. I hope that resonated with you. And good night. I was going to say asparagus. Good night, Aspasia. Good night, Beth. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Good night to you too. We're going to be another chat. Some people are going to be going, what the hell are they talking about? So yeah, Shay, just, wow, two cards, enlightenment and insight. And wow, that potential of that wand, that motivation, that energy, that passion, that desire, grab onto that, what it is that you want to do, and just go with it. And okay, my last reading for the night, Kristen Louise. Let me just take a quick sip. Okay. Ooh, that drink is good. 4 grams of sugar is better than 28 that goes into a can of Coke that I like to drink. Okay, what does Kristen need to release to the shadow for healing? Oh, wait a minute. That's not even the right deck I'm shuffling with. Well, that was weird. Faux pas. There needs to get a little grounded. For me, this is a lot of readings. I don't mind them, but it's like, whoo. Good night, Selena, my dear. Mwah. Yeah, workday's going to start early. It's too bad you can't even get the weekends off, girl. Much love to you. So what does Kristen need to receive from the light for healing? Now, isn't that interesting? Y'all saw me shuffle. So repeating cards must be also a reminder to the collective of things that we all need to work on. Try not to belch. Okay, so how do I maintain or find manifest balance? How does Kristen manifest balance? No, we're so busy. So horrible. Oh, come on, Tiles. Make a decision. Where are we going with this? Okay. So what do I need to release to the shadow for healing? So your card is resilience, centered through harmony and chaos. So surrendering to the shadow, also what the shadow reveals to you is the resilience that you have. So this also feels like resisting shadow work. And it's reminding you that you are resilient to be able to do the work. It says here, harmony and chaos. You know what? I haven't been looking at the books all night, but let me see this. Okay, right here. You're creating an empowered, resilient self by gradually replacing limiting thinking with a focus on strength, growth, and love. So it's acknowledging limited thinking. So giving to the shadow these thoughts that maybe I'm not strong enough, or am I going to be strong enough? Will I be strong enough? All the sense of, why is that's weird. My keyboard just moved on its own here. What's this? Kristen, every time I read for you, like Lilith comes through and I lose my internet. Okay, so I don't feel resilient, to be honest. Well, girl, we're here. This is going to be a mirror. They in the one book I had, they were talking about the new moon being when the goddess birthed the universe. She was like looking at within a mirror of herself. She saw the light and she saw the dark. And so this is going to be like a mirror to show you that there you are resilient. Um, so that doubt of being resilient, that doubt of being strong enough, being able to handle everything, to be able to heal everything, to be able to work through everything. There is just a lot of things on your plate. Um, so much going on. But in this card here, if you look at the center, it's the heart. She's tapping into the heart energy. So going into the heart, knowing that, I mean, for everything you've been going through, you have to see that you are resilient. Um, this also feels very much like, how do I find or manifest balance? This card is feeling the same here, because what I'm looking at here is all work that needs to be done, or I feel like you are working towards, because you took a break from your regular pantheon that you work with, and then you start working with Lilith. And it almost feels like, because you know how Lilith has like the snake energy and we have that Kundalini. If you look up, they're looking more like a DNA, but still going up her back, up through her hands, and up and throughout. So I'm wondering, I think she's still waiting to work with you. She's still there in the shadow. And to enter that shadow, to redefine what is resilient for us, we have to embrace that harmony and chaos that they mention here on the card. It's centering all of that. And when we can step into the shadow and say, going in with saying, show me how I am resilient. Show me how I have been strong, how I've been adaptable, how I've been able to manage everything through both the good times and the chaos. It's a beautiful embrace. That harmony and chaos is also like the equinox, the light and the dark. And with what do I need to receive from the light? Again, soul family came up. And for me, I think this is a lot about tapping into your ancestors. And you have some major ancestors in your lineage, especially spiritual ones. And I think a lot of going into the shadow, like with the other reading, I can't remember already who it was for, but asking that soul family to, and if you need to ask them to stand guard as you go into the shadow. Um, Giving over to the shadow your sense of, how do I'm trying to figure out the right word, Kristen. It's like when we have like low, okay, so going in maybe with a low self-esteem, or we feel that we're lacking something, or we go into with a lack of anything, a belief in ourselves, in our strength, in our abilities, of the path that we walked. All of this is in the shadow, and it will show you the resilience that you have through the DNA, through the soul family. Connect with them, even if it's at some point the two are going to come together, like how they're coming together here in that middle white light, and here within the heart. I think if you go within, it feels like there is a morning ritual that needs to be done. I feel like there's something that's being planned, or that you have planned. I'm saying when I have enough time, because I know you work, you're a wife, you're taking care of all those beautiful fur babies, and still moving forward in life without mom. I think there's still some point where a time needs to be crafted out for yourself where you can go and do some deep, heavy. When I say deep, dark, heavy, it's not evil, it's not bad. Of course, you know that. But real, like, roots to the ground where you're in that shadow. It's the heavy weeping, the heavy crying, the the screaming, the breaking, the drumming, whatever it is. Call on those ancestors, call on that soul family, ask them to lend you the insight, the support. But this is something that you're going to have to really work on, girl. And your tiles show that how to find, maintain that balance. I got the Eight of Pentacles. It may be hard work, but you can do it. You know, the Eight of Pentacles, nose to the grind, working hard, being diligent, crafting something, making sure your health is taken care of, making sure that you're that I think there's like a worry about maybe finances or something, but here it's about nose to the grind, really working to find time to do this, um, working on a ritual, working on moving towards creating that space within the shadow that you need, that time period just for you. I don't know if you know somebody in the area that could maybe hold ceremony for you, be a witness for you, or this is something where it's like, you know, this is you kind of like Inanna's journey, going into the underworld, removing one thing at a time, and just being bare in front of her sister, her shadow self, and allowing her shadow self to end her life to be rebirthed. It's like handing over everything and allowing her to go into that darkness to be rebirthed out. And when you're able to do this, your other tile is beautiful, Kristen. The Ten of Cups, that joyness, that happiness, that sense of family. So for me, it feels like not only a celebration for you and your family that connect with you, with your spiritual beliefs, and with your healing, but this also is going to be a beautiful soul family together. There's going to be a celebration of them celebrating you also on the other side. That sense of, again, your spiritual home, your spiritual family, um, calling on your Norse family, that place in, is it Valhalla, something like that, where you can go and acknowledge your ancestors, and it's a beautiful celebration when that work is being done. I mean, again, like we were saying, trauma is always going to be there, but there is going to be a point where it's going to start lessening, and that place of you're going to start seeing that resilience. You're going to be like, okay, I see this now. Yes, I see this now. It almost feels like what they're saying is that you don't feel you deserve to say that you're resilient. You want to say that you are, but because of everything that you've been through, it's something that for some reason it's a gift, it's an acknowledgement to what you've been through, um, that you haven't allowed. Um, but that shadow, that ritual is going to be very, very important. Her death anniversary is in 2 days. Okay. Well, right at Mabon too, and with the solstice. Okay. And the new moon. So if you're planning on anything, now probably would be a good time, if any, to be able to do that and to go in and connect again. I don't know if there is a goddess or a god in the Norse pantheon that's similar to Lilith, that maybe you can call them both to kind of like guide you through the underworld into the shadow for this. Um, but yeah, the harmony and the chaos that's in both in that we experience in our life, leaning more to the sadness and the chaos than the harmony, finding that balance. And you'll know it. You'll know it, Kristen. You'll be able to feel it, especially in the heart. And with that Ten of Cups, you have family on both sides there to support you through this. That's what I have for you, girl. Hell is a god. Hell. Okay. Yes, she is. I couldn't remember if that was she was part of the Norse um, pantheon, but yeah, maybe her, maybe Lilith. If Lilith is still speaking with you, I don't know. Those two energies would be willing to work together, but um, yeah, wonderful reading. You're welcome, my dear. To show my strength, but girl, you got to feel it too. But I get it. I've had people over the years tell me, "Oh, you're so brave, you're so strong." I'm like, "What the hell are you talking about?" You know, this is even back in Arizona. I had a counselor who annoyed the shit out of me because she would say, "You're so brave, you're so courageous." I'm like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "Well, you drove out here." She goes, "You brought your mother in knowing damn well what she was like." And I'm like, "Yeah, but now I'm fearful of her. I can't stand." You know what I mean? It's we question moments when we think we should have been brave or we should have been more courageous or shoulda wouldas, you know. And I think sometimes that holds us back from being able to really see how strong and resilient we are. And again, condolences. I think she's been gone now 2 years, hasn't she? I've known you for a while now. Oh, you're welcome, my dear. Big hugs to you too as well. So I am at 7. This was 2 hour. So that will be the end. I'm I'm whipped. So thank you again, everybody. I appreciate the kind comments all around. Um, I really do hope the readings resonated. Um, there have been times in the past where, you know, and again, like I'm saying, Kristen, where I've self doubted because, you know, it's been implied. Let's just say that, you know, a real reading, a good reading is this and not what, you know, I do or other people do. So there have been times when, you know, different folks over the years. So I appreciate the support and the validation with my readings. And thank you, Julie. And we'll get to you on Monday for Sacred Feminine if you can join us. So thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your night. And Nancy and I will see you on Monday. Have a good weekend. Bye bye.